the zodiac signs that never stay broke. Poverty for them is a temporary stop, not a state of life. There are zodiac signs that, no matter what the situation, return to prosperity. This is not a coincidence or simple luck. They have a different internal mechanism for decision-making, risk-taking, and sensing the moment. We will now analyze this mechanism. Write your sign in the comments. We'll check if it's among those who almost always regain their financial strength. Subscribe to the channel if you want to understand the patterns that most people notice too late. Let's start with the first sign, which is almost impossible to leave without money for long. The first sign we will discuss is Leo. He does not hold on to money. He keeps money under control. When his income drops, he does not feel sorry for himself. He immediately cuts out the excess. He closes weak expenses. He removes people who drain resources. Leo almost always senses where the money is that can be taken quickly, legally, and without humiliation. He doesn't wait for the moment, he creates it himself. Where others are still thinking, Leo has already sold the idea, agreed on the percentage, entered the niche, or revived an old contact. In financial matters, Leo is rarely petty. He does not think in terms of survival. Even after a loss, he regains his footing, not because of luck, but because of an inner refusal to live below his own standards. This is his advantage. He is not ashamed of poverty. He is ashamed of a weak position. Therefore, he gets his act together quickly, without tears or long explanations. If necessary, he takes a second job. If necessary, he changes his circle. If necessary, he enters into a partnership where he sees money, not pretty promises. In the near future, Leo will draw funds from a direction he previously underestimated. It could be a return to an old client, selling a skill he considered commonplace, launching a service he had long postponed. It is not talent alone that will work. It is presentation, firm, short, without fuss. People will pay Leo not out of sympathy. They will pay for the feeling of power, order, and results, and he will give it to them. The weak spot will also be visible. The desire to spend more than necessary to quickly confirm his level. There will be a test here. If Leo does not start buying impressions instead of assets, the money will go into growth. If he maintains discipline in at least 3 decisions, accumulation will follow. Steady, noticeable, with a reserve. This sign almost never stays without money for long, for one simple reason. They do not know how to live in the position of a beggar. They either negotiate, lead, or take what is theirs through results. They have a strong recovery cycle. That is why, after a decline, they often experience more than just stabilization. They receive an amount that covers the previous loss and establishes a new level, without fanfare, for a long time. Libra. Next, I want to talk about a sign that rarely holds on to money by accident. It's Libra. They have a different mechanism. They don't push through like strong power signs do. They come in through precision, through contact, through the right presentation, through the ability to be close to the resource before others notice it. Libras almost never remain without money for long because they know how to be profitable, not convenient, precisely profitable. These are different things. When Libras' income drops, they don't rush into chaos. First, they look for the leak. Who is taking up their time? Which agreement is no longer working? Which format of cooperation is draining their energy and preventing growth? Then they cut out the excess. Calmly, without drama. After that, the main thing begins. Libras quickly restore cash flow through people, through reputation, and through proper positioning. They know how to sell not only a product, they know how to sell a sense of reliability, and they are paid steadily for this. In the near future, this sign will make a profit, where it previously agreed to less. There will be a review of prices, a review of roles, a review of one's own weight in the work, and this is the right move. Libras often lose money, not because of mistakes, but because of softness where conditions should have been fixed. Now this will change. They will start to state the amount more clearly. They will be stricter about keeping to the framework. They will explain less. They will take more for real value. This is what will bring about change. But key points to pay attention to. Old contacts who suddenly remind you of themselves. Offers of cooperation without specifics. Repeated situations where a lot is expected of Libras, but little is offered in return. The opportunity to monetize what was previously done as a favor or through connections. Any chance to step out of the shadows and show yourself as a strong individual, rather than as a backdrop for someone else's success. My expert opinion is simple. Libras do not remain poor for long when they stop saving others' balance at the expense of their own. As soon as this sign sets a price without guilt, the financial picture changes dramatically. I am convinced that right now Libras are entering a tougher period of adult decisions. No fuss, no fancy words. They will start to say no where they used to endure. And that is what will open up normal money. Not a one-time sum, not a random bonus, but a level where you no longer have to survive. Aries. Another sign that made it onto this list is Aries. Money rarely stays in their hands by accident. They take it through speed, through pressure, through a willingness to act where others are still deliberating. When Aries finds themselves without a normal income, they don't stay in that state for long. They have a different reaction. He starts looking for a new entry point, a tough one, a profitable one. He can change direction abruptly. He can take risks. He can take on more than he planned. But that's what often gets him out of the hole, faster than others. Their main strength is that they are not afraid to start from scratch. Where for many, zero is a blow, for Aries it is a command to start. He does not cling to yesterday's plan if he sees that it is no longer working. He cuts it off quickly. He moves on quickly. He negotiates quickly. That is why this sign almost never stays stuck in poverty for long. He is not in the habit of dwelling on defeat. He has a habit of regaining control. In the near future, Aries' money will come from an active position. Not from expectations, not from beautiful hopes, but from concrete action. It could be a new side job, a short project, tough negotiations about payment, the launch of something that has been lying idle for a long time. Everything that requires quick decisions, personal presence, the ability to push and not back down after the first refusal will work especially well. Aries is now in a phase where it is not the one who thinks longer who wins, but the one who takes the place first. But there is also a weak spot: impulsive spending, rash bets, the desire to immediately show strength through purchases, or status, or excessive risk. This is where the main test will be. If Aries does not confuse a financial breakthrough with financial bravado, income will begin to stabilize. If they resort to reckless spending again, part of the profit will burn up as quickly as it came. Key points to pay attention to: urgent offers where everyone is afraid to take responsibility. Conversations about money that have been put off for a long time, a chance to enter a new niche without lengthy preparation. People who suddenly remember Aries' competence just when they need results. Situations where you need to quickly name a price and not lower it under pressure. My expert opinion is this: Aries does not remain without money when it stops fighting for the very fact of movement and starts fighting for the number. This is fundamental. It always has a lot of energy, but now strength must be directed toward income, not noise. I see a period where this sign can dramatically increase its financial pace. On one condition: the action must be cooler, more precise, without unnecessary excitement. Then the money will not just come, it will become the new norm. Pisces. Separately, we need to talk about the sign of Pisces. Here, money is not held by noise, not by a demonstration of strength, not by constant pressure. Pisces has a different mechanism. They almost never remain without resources for long when they read the situation correctly. This sign knows how to go where there is demand but no oversaturation yet. It knows how to catch someone else's need before it is clearly formulated. It knows how to give exactly what people are willing to pay for repeatedly, not once, systematically. When Pisces' income drops, the problem is rarely that they can't do anything. The problem is elsewhere. They tolerate an unfavorable format for too long. They keep quiet about their price for too long. They invest too long in places where they are perceived as a convenient resource rather than a separate, strong unit. But as soon as Pisces stops saving everyone around them at their own expense, the financial picture quickly evens out. Without drama, without dramatic statements, Simply, different rules appear in their field, and according to these rules, they are already being paid differently. In the near future, this is exactly what will start to work. Pisces will not go for chaotic earnings. They will go for more precise decisions. Money will be governed by colder logic. There will be fewer emotional actions, less free giving, more fixation on agreements, more control over where time goes. A source of income will open up either through a skill they underestimated or through an old direction that did not yield great results before but can now grow dramatically. Areas where trust, sensitivity to detail, the ability to adapt and accurately fulfilling others' requests are important will do particularly well. The weak spot is also obvious. Pisces may again confuse kindness with obligation. They may agree to wait for payment. They may leave the old price unchanged, even though they have been working at a different level for a long time. And this is where money is lost. Not on big failures, on small repeated actions, one after another. If this sign stops at least some of these habits, the difference in income will become noticeable very quickly. With key points to pay attention to: repeated requests from people who have already seen the results of Pisces' work. Offers where they ask for a little help, but actually want a full job. Chances to raise the price without losing the client. The opportunity to transform chaotic employment into a clear format with rules. New acquaintances, after which stable, rather than one-time income opens up. My expert opinion is harsh. Pisces do not remain without money when they stop caring more about other people's boundaries than their own. This sign has strong financial potential, but it only works where there is a framework. I see a period for Pisces when money will come through mature decisions, through calm determination, through refusing to be complacent. And this is what will give them not random earnings, but a level from which they will no longer have to start from scratch.